Episode of the Everblack Podcast is brought to you by Deathwish, Hotrods and Kustoms. Check out their Instagram for all their new t-shirts, caps, beanies, cups, and the all-new Atomic Death lineup. Trav, thanks for joining us on the show, brother. How's everything going down there, right?
Yeah, good, Nev. Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good to be back.
Back
talking
again.
to you.
Where are you? Where are you?
I'm actually down in the country at my father's at the moment.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just come back here for a couple of weeks. I'm just finishing off some of Witchgrinder material, actually. So,
Nice.
bit of pre-production. So, come down to the country to get, away from it all for a little bit. And I'll get back up there and into it.
Is that where you were born? Is that there?
Yeah.
Now?
Yeah. About 3 hours out of Melbourne. So I didn't move up till I was early 20s.
See, that's funny because being out in 3 hours from Melbourne, I don't travel much outside of my little bubble of the Gold Coast. But I don't think I've asked you before, like, how did music make its way out there to you? Is it that secluded?
Well, because growing up here, there was nothing to do when you were a kid, unless you wanted to play footy, or I don't really know, or you were either going to play footy or something, or get into lots of trouble or something else. So I think at a young age, I was introduced to music from my father.
Yeah,
and then being who I was and being like wanting to be creative, and I had no interest in playing sports or doing any of that. So
me too.
I picked up a guitar straight away and just started writing songs and things like that. So music's been massive, even before I moved. Like Melbourne's pretty much like I moved there to play more.
Mm.
Yeah.
So with that, what was your dad's jam? Like, what was he? Was it food groups, AC/DC and
AC/DC, Black Sabbath.
Mm-hmm.
He had an Iron Maiden record in there. He had a massive record collection, but I wasn't allowed to touch it.
Yeah, that's understandable though. Like,
yeah, I was allowed to when he was there until a certain age. Like until I got a little bit older. Like I was introduced really young. So
yeah.
But then he showed me, to take them out and put them in their covers again, and make sure I really looked after them, and you blow the dust off them and everything like that. But yeah, he had a lot of cool records. I haven't looked at them for a long time. But I know I started buying records and getting a lot mixed up with his stuff. So he's probably got a lot of my old cool records too.
Yeah. Because I love my vinyl, man, but it's a nasty, expensive habit to have.
Yeah.
So you get there.
I've always loved vinyl, but I've just found it a bit more practical not to be carting around my vinyl everywhere with me at this time. So, like a lot of it's in my dad's collection and just stored with him there.
So
speaking of vinyl, though. I might as well say this. I haven't touched on this at all because I haven't really done any interviews with anyone. But we are in the middle of negotiating with a label at the moment for the release of The Demon Calling, our first album on vinyl.
Nice.
It'll be the 10-year anniversary next year, so there's a bunch of things that I'm going to pull out, like. That was unreleased stuff from that and a few other things. But yeah, a label approached us and offered us a deal to put out a limited pressing of vinyl on that. So
sick.
Yeah, it's looking good. So that should be cool. I think it's June or something next year. I'm not 100% sure of the date. It's the same release date as the album.
You got to plan that stuff well ahead because of Adele.
Yeah,
I hear
you do.
Because she chewed up all the vinyl.
Well, that's it. And there's lots of people are getting vinyl made these days.
Yeah.
It's better. It's more kind of you know, you're going to probably sell more than like a CD or something like that, or anything else that's a physical. You're better off going with a record, and that's because of what, you know, everything being closed over the last few years. There's a huge backlog of for the places who make vinyl, so they're pushing it. So yeah, we have to get in early if we're going to do it. This is why I think they reached out so early to us.
Yeah, you know what? I've been finding that a lot. Like when I get promos through,
Yeah,
like certain labels, and I'll get the album like sometimes a couple of months before release because of that.
yeah.
Like I'm noticing there's been a bigger gap between release, and I'm like, why have I got this now? It's because they've had the album in the can for a year, but they're waiting for the vinyls
Yeah.
and physical stuff before they can drop it all. You know, like it's insane.
We're always a last minute band, so that won't be happening with us. Like unless it's like something like this vinyl that's already, like, that album's already been out, so that's going to be, you know, and that's getting taken care of. But yeah, usually people are chasing us up last minute if we've got a new album or something new coming out, because I start changing everything with a few, you know, with not long to go. So if anyone ever gets a copy of the album a month before or something, it's definitely going to be probably a different album by the time the release comes out. Even in that month or the last few weeks before it goes to pressing or something gets done, I'm changing things. I
had an idea though for all those people, all the bands that are wanting to get vinyl and there's a shortage. Just get all the ones that are Dell. You know, there was like I think it was like 500,000 copies of her last album.
right.
Stop the production. Grab all those, melt them down, and then you've got, you know, your supply back.
That's it. Good idea.
Science. But, you know, that would make her very angry. You know,
yeah.
She'd.
Is that the album that she recorded to, like, it's all was really slow?
I don't know. I don't listen to Adele, but
I
just read about it. Like all these people were like, we can't get vinyl because, you know, Adele. The shortage. Let's just melt them all down, and you know. Now I'm gonna have.
That's a good idea.
I think so too. I'm gonna have some label dude banging at my door with like some legal shit now, like going, "You can't see that. Don't melt down Adele. Do it." But anyway, we're here to talk about. Of course, I mean, there's heaps going on in the Witchgrinder camp, and you're coming back to Queensland next month for the Vamped Up Our Party Festival with Our Last Enemy, From Crisis to Collapse, Department of Gloom, and a ton of others. And those guys. Yeah, man, it's going to be one hell of a show. It's been a little while since we've seen you guys.
Yeah, look, I'm absolutely pumped about coming up to play in Queensland, man. This is I think it's our third time lucky, as we've had to cancel shows up until now. So I think the last time we were there was 2018 on a tour with Pain.
Yeah.
And the following year, I think we were coming up for a festival, but we I actually can't remember what happened that year, but something happened, so we just went, no, we'll come up in 2020, and we know what's the rest of the story from there. So yeah, a few got booked and they couldn't go ahead, or we couldn't get into the state due to restrictions. But this is finally happening, and I couldn't be more happy. The lineup's awesome. Like, yeah, it's going to be rad.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, who are you looking forward to catching up with at the show, since you haven't been here?
I mean, I'm looking forward to. Do you mean as in catching up to talk to, or just
mate,
see the bands, or
see the bands, all the above?
Man, there is. Look, there is so many bands. There's a lot of Sydney bands on the bill. Notice, or bands from New South Wales. There's a bunch of Queensland bands. I'm not sure if we're the only Victorian band. I can't really remember.
Question.
But yeah, look, because we haven't toured Queensland, we've done one show in New South Wales. but that was a quick kind of show that we just set up to come up and play and then get out of there. So catching up with a bunch of these bands, like we haven't seen each other for 3 years, maybe 4 years. So there's a lot of bands that we've toured with previously that are on this bill and that we've seen, or just not toured with, but just we've seen and that we're friends with. We haven't seen each other for 4 years, so it's going to be crazy. I can't narrow it down to any bands in particular because a lot of them are my friends. So
yeah.
It'll be really cool. Yeah.
Well, here's something I prepared earlier.
Oh, cool.
There you go. It doesn't really work in my little setup here, but there you go. There's the lineup.
It is a very cool lineup.
It's going to be it's a damn good time, I tell you that. And man, I mean, so I saw you're going to be having some limited edition shirts and
so we've got a limited edition. Kind of limited. The shirts have been around for a while, but they're been out of stock. We weren't going to get them printed again. I don't think these ones, anytime soon anyway. But we thought we'd do a small run of two different older designs that haven't reached Brisbane, or we've never played shows selling these at live shows. So it should be cool.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Gives people something new.
Absolutely. And I mean, you mentioned before you're hard at work with some new Witchgrinder material. Are you gonna give us a spicy little preview?
We don't know. The other guys are really keen to do it, but I'm a bit strict when it comes to that.
Yep.
Yeah, we've got some other little things that we're going to throw in there, like to make it fun and a bit more fresh, because I'm sure, of course our set is going to be filled with lots of the old stuff because everyone likes our old kind of bangers and stuff like that. There's a few new things that we've put out since we've played up there, so we'll be probably throwing in that, a couple of other little surprises. And the other guys, they're really keen on playing something new. I'm not so much. I like waiting until things are finished before I put it out there. But who knows? See how we feel on the night.
Yeah, you could get up there and be like, "Here's a new song," and play like half a note and go, "Yeah, there you go. That's all you're getting. There's your preview."
I've heard when bands do that though, and I get excited for a second. It kind of breaks my heart. So
yeah.
I don't want to be up there breaking hearts.
People just but before everything went crazy, you mentioned before you toured with Pain, and I tell you what, I was devastated because I'd waited for Pain to tour here for a very long time, and I was sick that week.
Oh no!
They played in Brisbane because Peter's awesome, man. He's such a great dude. He's such a nice guy. How was it being on tour with them?
It was fantastic, man. We've been on a bunch of tours with overseas bands. Definitely some like more crazier and got some, like heaps of stories. But Pain were just a bunch of awesome dudes, man. Like Peter was fantastic. His son Sebastian plays drums in that, so he was super cool. Jonathan, Jonathan's on bass. He we still talk all the time since the tour. So we've got a good friendship from all that. Look, they were just super chilled, cool, but would like to have a couple of drinks, after the shows and stuff. Made us feel really welcome to be on tour with them. They invited us up on stage at the Brisbane show, actually, for their last song. So we got up and played their single, Shut Your Mouth.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Luckily, I knew like some of the words. I didn't really know how to play much on guitar. He just kind of was showing me as I jumped up on stage and then handed me the guitar. So I kind of had the riff, okay, but it was more just like the finale, part. We've just done a bunch of solos over things and screamed with him in the mic. And I think, Dark Cell were up on stage with us that night too. So it was the last show, and they were opening the night. So yeah, that was really good fun, man. Like, yeah, that was super cool. And like their sound engineer, like / roadie, this dude Elvis, he's like a veteran known in the metal scene for touring, and just he was a dude, man. He was so cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What other tours have you done that you're particularly proud of over the years? I really liked playing with Ghost. Yeah,
I thought they were super cool. That was a long time. That was 2014. They done two side shows for I think it was the big day out that come out for, or something like that.
Yeah.
Why I liked that so much was it was a massive surprise, because we didn't approach anyone about it. We had no idea. Like, I was a fan of Ghost and I liked their music. I didn't even know Big Day Out was on. I don't think I was that busy at the time. And we just got a phone call from someone who worked for Big Day Out. I thought it was a joke at the start. I got a phone call. I forget what his name was. And he just said, would you guys like to play the Sydney and Melbourne sideshow with Ghost, open for him? And we were just like, yep, we'll do it. And he's like, it's tomorrow night. And we're like, we're fine. We'll jump on a plane and we'll go up there. So this was kind of, there was a lot of mysterious stuff about Ghosts still back then. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't know who they were, the members. Like, no one really knew who they were under at all, and things like that. So you weren't allowed in sound check to watch them.
Wow.
Bunch of stuff like that. But we did get to, eventually we got to meet them all unmasked, and they were just a bunch of cool dudes as well.
Yeah, awesome.
So that was really fun. I think that's one of my favorites, because it was just such a surprise to us, and we were fans, and it was just, they were packed, sold out shows. So they just come out of nowhere. It was like one night you're just kind of sitting at home, and I think I was working on something to do with Witchgrinder, maybe a film clip or something, and I was very busy. So like getting that call and just thinking, and being very tired. And getting to have that break to go away and just do a quick 2 shows like that with that band was really fun.
Man, that's hectic, pulling that together. Like
that. Oh, we did it. That's what I was saying. Like, we leave things to last minute, but that's we're used to that pressure. We're at our best when we're under that bit of pressure. When we're on a short timeline, it's like, it's quick, hurry, do it.
Man, and now look at him now. It's like it's gone from Ghost to Ghost. Massive, untouched now. Like, crazy.
They were starting to get pretty big then, but they've even just exploded even more since then. So, I mean, I still stay in contact with one of the dudes from it. It'd be cool to do something with them again. But even just to see them when they come out, like with a bigger production and stuff, would be just, fantastic. Because they put on a pretty, like, the show was pretty small, like, production and that at that stage, but still 20 times bigger than ours.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Did you see them at Download when they were here?
I think I was working on the Download Festival that year.
Huge.
Maybe. I can't remember what year that was.
2019?
2019.
Early 2019, I believe. No,
I wasn't working on it. I didn't get to see him then, unfortunately. I was away. I was
insane. It was like they're like I don't know how they pulled it off, but like their stage setup was for like a smaller stage, like to the side, was insane. Like I didn't know how the fuck they did it. do they just like push a button and it just comes out of a suitcase? And like, I don't know how they
on
a plane.
Yeah.
Massive.
I don't know, man. Yeah, they've got a lot of stuff up on there. So
Yeah. That's it. That's it, man. But of course, I mean, you played the Evelyn as your first show back, I believe, and you know, I know there's that story of a guy dislocating his leg.
Yeah, it was awful. Yeah, so that was our first show back. We were pumped. We had a massive set prepared. We were halfway through the set, and I just looked down into the pit, and there was just like a hole, you know, like you could see a circle of people, but then just a hole in the pit. And after, you know, I wouldn't know when I'm up there. I don't know how actual time flows.
Yeah,
but it seemed like a long time to see that. So I knew someone just hadn't just fallen over, or I knew something was going on. So we just stopped playing. We asked the crowd to suss out what was happening. No one could really answer us because we were up on stage, so we couldn't really hear anything. So eventually we just heard someone's really hurt himself. So I just announced, like, we'll come back. We'll finish the set once this someone, like, whoever's hurt can be treated. We went out the back and we were out there for about 5 minutes until the staff come out and told us, some guy had dislocated his knee, and like his leg was pointed the opposite direction than that was meant to be. So, you know, no one could move him there. We had to wait for like the paramedics and stuff to turn up to the show. It wasn't prepared for anything like that to happen on that night. They were understaffed. COVID had just, like, everything had just come back out of COVID. So, you know, and just no one thought something like that was going to happen. So, we just had to stop the set, cut it halfway, which was disappointing for us. But I mean, like, you know, you have to do those things. There's nothing else we could have done. We came back and made up for it a few weeks later. So we done an extra show in Melbourne. We done a fundraiser for the Bendigo Hotel.
Oh, yeah.
So we came in and played a extra long set there to make up for it. So that was cool.
Have you heard from the dude? Did you hear from him?
No. We gave him a couple of our T-shirts as he was lying on the ground to use as a pillow.
Yeah.
And said, we asked him what size he was, or one of the band members went out there and said, "What size are you?" I think he just got it out because he was in so much pain.
Yeah.
Like, let's say he was a medium, so we got 2 medium shirts and took it out there and put it under his head so he could use them as a pillow, and said, "You can keep them."
Hey man.
And he was like, "Thanks," you know, with the thumb up and that. But like, you could see he was. It's a wonder he wasn't crying, man. Like,
man, brutal.
Yeah. So we haven't heard from him. I'm guessing all went well, if that's the case. So. Man.
Well, I hope if he's watching this, where are you, dude? You know, just
we hope you're okay.
You're all right.
Don't do it again at our show.
Yeah. Not the other one. You know, when people say you go play a show, you know, they go break a leg. You know,
break a leg. Yeah.
Don't do that. No, but we hope you're all right if you're out there somewhere in Radio Land. But of course, Frankies as well. You've played Frankies, and that's one of my all-time dream to play there. You know,
it is the coolest venue ever. That's why we done that. We that was the show I was talking when we were discussing stuff like earlier, and I said we'd been to New South Wales up to Sydney for a quick show. We went up to play Frankies. It was a Sunday night, which I thought would be weird because being a Sunday, lots of people do, you know, I thought stayed at home, but they run these freak flag events on Sunday once a month where they've got burlesque dancers and you know, people doing like freaky kind of stage stuff, like putting nails up their nose or just like circus act stuff, bunch of that in between bands. So And Frankies is closing down. And it's like such a home, that place. When I'm in Sydney, I'm part of the furniture when I'm up there. Like, I love it. It's cool. Pizza, metal bands, pinball machines,
man.
Alcohol,
booze. Yeah, man. We're gonna do it. We are absolutely gonna do it. We're talking about like flying your freak flag. How's back to our party festival, jelly wrestling.
Yeah, I've seen that on the poster.
We got some jelly wrestling. It's not me. Like, I'm not.
Is it?
No.
I was going to bring a bikini and jump in with you.
We could
give you a run for your money.
Yeah, I don't want to scare anybody away. Like you want. But
look, I haven't heard much to do with the jelly wrestling yet. I'm guessing it just involves jelly and wrestling. But yeah, I've seen it on the poster and I've seen it on the worksheet. So I know I can see there's a couple of matches and then there's like a final, like throughout the day. So it's not like just a quick, they've jumped in. Yeah, there's a couple of jelly wrestling battles. So
is it the same flavor jelly? That's what I need to know. Is it
the same pool of it?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, you gotta
come and find out. Get your ticket and find out.
Exactly what I'm getting to. Awesome bands, jelly wrestling, beers, and man, it's gonna be a real good time. Of course, the Vamp Up are really good cats.
Man. Like we met Vamp Barbie when we first started. When we first started out, we came up, we played a festival, Dead of Winter Festival, maybe 2010 that was. We met her there. She interviewed us. We've stayed in contact. She's been a great supporter of Witchgrinder throughout, Witchgrinder's career. So when we got the offer to play this festival, we were absolutely stoked to do it. And I see and then I learned, because I hadn't seen what she'd been up to for a little while. I didn't realize she was doing a big podcast kind of show, Vamped Up TV, and this is her first. She said this was her first event, but there was many more to come. And I see they just announced like this awesome boat cruise festival.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, well, the lineup hasn't been announced yet, but I've heard it's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
I've heard a few whispers about.
Have you now?
Yeah. So it's like, look, man, I just hope it all goes well for them, because they're a great crew. I mean, this festival coming up, our party, it's the bands are so good. I just, and that's a great crew. So I can't see, it's going to be heaps of fun.
Yeah, man.
It can't not be fun.
I know. And it's like, it's going to be like this big reunion, because there's going to be so many people there that I know from I think it might be a little bit emotional. Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Because I haven't seen you in a long time in person. I haven't seen I've seen Wade around the traps here and there, but I haven't seen Ollie. I haven't seen all these cats, man. And it's, even dudes that I've played regular shows with up here that are from over the border, you know what I mean? That have had to okay, we're gonna play a show, and then the show gets cancelled. They're gonna play a show, the show gets cancelled. So I think you're right, man. I think it is gonna be an emotional show and a big celebration of all things heavy.
Well, that's it. And a lot of these the bands, especially Our Last Enemy, which I've managed to catch up with Wade and Ollie a fair bit, which has been pretty cool. Wade was down in Sydney when we done our Sydney show, so those guys came to the show. But even with those guys, there's Depth of Gloom with Lino and all that, Nouveau, a bunch of these bands. They've all released new music. Some I still consider it new, even though it came out a couple of years ago, but they haven't been able to tour a lot of these things. So they haven't played them live. I know Our Last Enemy were talking about playing. Well, they put up on their Facebook that they're thinking of dropping, a bunch of what songs do we want to hear from their newest EP and stuff. So there's heaps of stuff, like not only seeing all these people and being all emotional about that, I'm going to get to hear all these cool songs that I've been listening to off from these bands that I think are fantastic songs, like that they should be very, very proud of. I can't wait to hear all that live, man. I'm going to be on the side headbanging, well, as much as I can. You know, I don't want to hurt my neck too much before I have to get up there, scream at the top of my voice, and then have no voice left in my own show.
Man, and then after, I think it's going to be on. I think the after party.
Oh yeah,
it's going to be.
There'll be after party.
Yeah,
after party.
I think I'm going to take off Monday. I don't think it's going to be a good idea.
Well, we are flying up on the night before, so I have to really keep an eye on myself, probably mostly.
Yeah.
But and the other boys, because we don't want to burn ourselves out going up the night earlier and getting excited, especially if we're hanging out with a bunch of bands the night before.
Your mates,
and getting that whole what we're talking about, being emotional, seeing everyone and celebrating. Yeah, we do have to keep an eye on what we're doing that night before.
It's always a way,
because it's a massive day,
dude. We are going to be seeing you and Witchgrinder at our party festival on July 30, and we are going to have all the tickets down here, and it's going to be one hell of a weekend that we're going to be recovering for months and months and months until we do it all again. Brother, thank you so much for hanging out on the show, and let's party.
No worries, Nev. Thanks heaps for having me, mate.